State. You may call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Jametta, Mobley.
Ms. Mobley, good morning to you, ma'am. Just come over here to your right, and you can just watch your step as you come forward. If you need a glass of water, let us know. We'll do our best to accommodate you.
I'll get it for you, man.
Thank you.
And you can adjust the microphone to help your voice project in the courtroom as well. And the only thing I ask, if there's an objection made during the course of your testimony, just pause, let me roll on the objection, and then depending on what I say, you may or may not be able to answer the question.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
State your name, inquire, you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, will you introduce yourself to the jury, please?
Hi, my name is Jametta Mobley.
And where do you live, ma'am?
I stay in Nassau County.
All right. And have you been a Northeast Florida resident for the last how long?
I left in 1996, and I came back in 2004. Went to the military, and I came back home. No, I got out of the military too. I came back home in 2008.
And you've been here since?
I've been here ever since, and then I moved to Nassau County in 2021.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Who are you to Ayanna Sawyer?
I'm her aunt.
All right. And who is her mother, Kim, to you?
That's my sister.
And are you the older or one of Kim's younger sisters?
No, I'm the oldest.
And who is Naomi Mobley to you?
Naomi is the middle child. She's my sister as well.
All right. Was at one point in time Naomi married to somebody by the name of Johnathan Quiles?
Yes.
You see him in the courtroom today.
Yes.
Describe what he's wearing, please.
A blue shirt, has glasses on, gray pants.
Your Honor, may the record reflect she's identified the defendant.
So reflected.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, I want to direct your attention specifically to December 19, 2018. Do you recall that day, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. Can you first tell our jury where you were?
At home.
Okay. And will you describe where your home is and specifically in relation to Terry Parker High School?
I stayed in Arlington off of University Boulevard, and Terry Parker High School was maybe like 3 to 5 miles from where I live at that time.
And that particular day was Kim at work?
Yes.
All right. Don't state what someone said, but were you called by Kim that afternoon?
Yes.
And did you learn that IS had gone missing?
Yes. She said that she didn't get...
You learned that she went missing, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Did you have an objection? Did you move on, Mr. Skinner?
No, just let her finish her answer, Your Honor.
What was the question?
It was basically, Your Honor, I asked her, did she learn that IS went missing that day after speaking to her sister?
Overruled.
Thank you. But you can answer it, ma'am, just for our record.
Yes, my sister called me and told me that...
That's all? You don't have to say just the court. You can't say what someone else said. We're just asking you, did you learn that she went missing?
I'll get it. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. Now, why or where did you choose to go once you learned she went missing that afternoon?
I went to school.
And why is it that you chose to go directly to the school?
Because that's not something that IS would do. So she said, I can't say here.
Right. Did you go straight to the school?
I went straight to school.
All right. And did you go there because you lived close to the school?
Yes, I wasn't working at that time, so.
All right. And was Kim at work that day?
Yes.
All right. And what was so unusual about IS not getting on that bus that afternoon?
That's something she wouldn't do. I mean, there's no reason why she wouldn't get on that bus.
All right. When you got to Terry Parker High School, can you first tell us how far of a drive that was?
About 3 to 5 miles.
How long did it take you?
About 10 minutes.
Okay. And once you got there, will you give the jury an idea of what you did at the school grounds that afternoon?
Once I got there, I started looking for my niece.
All right.
Can I say niece?
You can't say what anybody else told you. My question is, did you go?
Can I say niece?
Of course.
Yeah, I was started looking for my niece,
Right.
and I started looking around. There was officer there. I don't know if he was the truancy officer or whatever, but he had a police uniform on, and I was speaking to him because I was trying to see if anyone knew where my niece was.
All right. And did you check around with other students? Did you walk the halls?
I was asking everybody.
Ma'am, did you
Yes.
look around the grounds on campus there?
Yes, I was walking around asking kids if they seen my niece.
All right. Well, did you ever find any sign of your niece?
Absolutely not.
Was this completely out of character for IS?
Absolutely.
All right. Has she ever done anything like that?
No, she has never done anything like that. The girl goes to school.
Did you ever find any sign of her whereabouts whatsoever that afternoon at the school?
No, not at all.
Now, what was the last time you specifically had communication with IS?
I had communication with her that particular day. I had texted her. I wanted to see what she wanted for Christmas.
Right.
She had asked me for money, and I said, no, I'm going to give a gift. I don't like giving money. I like giving presents. And I said, well, let Auntie know what you want. And so that was the last time.
All right. And was that earlier in the morning on December 19 of 2018?
I'm not going to say early in the morning because I also went to the school that day. So I'm going to say maybe around the afternoon.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me ask this question. Other than the small talk about the Christmas gift, was that the last communication that you had with your niece?
Yes.
All right. Did you ever speak to her again after that in person?
No.
Ever get her on the phone?
No.
Were you trying to call her?
Yes.
Did you continue to try to text and communicate in any way you knew how to reach her?
Yes. And I never received anything. The last thing was about she wanted money for Christmas. That was it.
All right. Now, in the days following that afternoon when you were up at the school, did you do anything else to help try to locate your niece?
Yes. We were out there looking for her. We were going through the neighborhood. We were putting up flyers. We were trying to find my niece. We were riding around. We were trying to find her because, like I said, she did not go anywhere. She only went home, school, and then my sister Naomi's house.
All right, I want to talk to you a little bit about that. When you say those are the only places you went, can you even give us an indication of what other places that she would have gone and visited?
No. Outside of that, she went to her dad's house, but she went to her dad's house, just home. I'm the mean auntie, so they didn't want to come to my house. And then to Naomi and Johnathan's house at that time.
All right. So is your testimony that she would go to see her father, Willie Sawyer?
Yes.
All right. And she would either go there or stay home. Is that correct?
Yes.
Other than that, the only place that you're saying she went was the defendant's home with Naomi.
Yes.
Do you ever know her to go visit with her grandmother on her father's side in Georgia?
Oh, yes.
All right. Was that every summer she did that?
She did that for the summer. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Let me ask it this way. Where, if anywhere, can you tell us she has gone at any point in her life for a long period of time other than those 3 places you just told us? Has she gone anywhere?
I mean, outside of my sister Paula's house, I would say just family. It was 5 girls. So she went to one of the auntie's house. Outside of that, no.
All right, leading up to that December day, December 19th, ma'am, had you learned that IS was pregnant?
Yes.
All right. Can you give our jury an idea approximately when you learned she was pregnant?
I would say maybe the first week of the beginning of December
Okay.
of
2008?
2018.
Okay. So our record's clear. So during the month that she went missing on December 19th, that's when you first learned she was pregnant, earlier that month?
Yes.
Okay. Did you do anything, ma'am, that caused a family disagreement in that early portion?
Yes.
Hang on, let me finish the question. In that early portion of December of 2018.
I sure did.
Tell us about that.
When I found out when she was pregnant, then I went and pulled up that app and looked back and see when she got pregnant. And so, because I knew, I went and looked back, like I said, she didn't have a boyfriend, she didn't have anything. And so I added up the dates and I figured out she got pregnant when she got back from summer vacation with her grandparents in Georgia. Mm-hmm. That's when she got pregnant because when she, sorry.
Sure, no, I'm letting you explain that. Here's my question about that particular reason. When you say pulled up an app, are you talking about calculating the days or months since she was pregnant?
Yeah, we all had those scares. And I went back and I calculated it back. And because I know when she came back on that summer break, she was on her cycle. So, and I went back and I looked at the date, I looked at the time, I looked at the due date. And I said, she got pregnant when she got back. And I know it was on July 7th because that was my mama's birthday. And we were all at the house for my mama's birthday. And so that's how I know the date.
Did you know at the time period, looking back in July 7 of 2018, that she was staying over at the defendant's house?
Yes. When she got back, she went over to the defendant's house, and she was there. S was there, and they stayed there. And I know when they left because they came back on tax-free weekend. So her mom went and got her. Tax-free is normally like around in Florida, August, like the first week of August is on that weekend. And that's when she went and picked them up on tax-free weekend.
All right. So you did the math, is that correct? Calculate when she got pregnant?
Yes.
And you also knew, and you told this jury, that she only really went to 3 places. What, if anything, ma'am, can you tell us with respect to anything that caused you any concern about the defendant and how he looked at your niece?
I personally, I didn't like the way he looked at her. And I saw him, at first we were cool, and then we didn't get along anymore. And then, like I said, things started to change after he broke his femur. And that was maybe September 2017. And after that, we started to fall out, but only time I would see them was at family functions. And so it was just, like I said, I grew up in a 2-parent household. I know how my dad looked at me. I have male partners, and I know how a grown man looked at me. And I did not like the way he looked at her.
All right. How many times would you tell this jury you saw him looking at your niece, IS, in the way that you felt like you're describing now?
I would say at least maybe more. It was at family functions. Because, like I said, our relationship changed after he broke his femur. Our relationship changed, and then we stopped hanging. The only time we were really hanging together is when we had family functions, because we're always doing stuff, holidays, because we're a very close-knit family, and that's when I started noticing things. So it's mainly at family functions. I didn't go over the house outside of just wherever we're going to meet for a family function.
All right. So you did the math, you told us. You now told this jury you didn't like the way you looked at your niece, and she only went to 3 places. Did you take those 3 pieces of information and lodge an accusation in early December at the defendant?
I sure did, and
Tell this jury how you did that, ma'am.
It was on the text messages, and then I told, why are you so worried? We was going back and forth. The thing was, we had a family group text message, and he was included on our family group text message. And then we were going back first, and I'm like, why are you worried about who her child father is? And that's when I got cussed out.
Okay. My question for you, ma'am, is what was the accusation you put on that family text? What was it?
That he was the father of her baby.
All right. And don't tell us what anybody said or in that text, but did someone cuss you out as a result of that text message?
Yes.
Who was that?
I got cussed out by him. I got cussed out by my sister Naomi.
And is Naomi the wife of the...
Naomi was his wife at that time.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can I just, the court reporter in front of you has to take down what we're saying verbatim.
Oh, you slow down?
A little bit.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I understand. Just let him finish the question, and then you can pause for a second, let them answer the question. I just got to make sure that it's an accurate representation of what you're saying. And
My apologies.
no, you're doing fine. Just it's a habit we all get into, and so
No, I talk a lot. Yeah, I got you.
you're not used to it. You don't know how it works. So I just wanted to let you know. But other than that, you're doing fine, ma'am.
Okay, I'll slow down. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Ma'am, now just let me finish the question and then do your very best at answering what we ask and opposing counsel.
Yes.
Once you made that allegation in that family text based on the 3 things you just told the jury, did that cause friction from that point forward until the day IS went missing?
Yes.
Right? What can you tell us, ma'am, about IS's phone and phone use?
That girl, she stayed on the phone. But, at that age, that's what they do.
Did you ever know her to turn her phone off?
No.
Ever?
Ever. She stayed. I can text her. She'll respond to me from the bathroom. She'll respond to me while she is in the classroom. She never turned her phone off.
One moment, Your Honor.
Mr. Gray, you want a glass of water?
Yes.
He'll help you out.
Thank you.
Ma'am, once December 19 of 2018 came and went, will you tell this jury if you ever heard IS's voice with your ears ever again?
Excuse me. No, sir.
Did you ever see her again?
No, sir.
That phone that she never turns off, did she ever contact you in any way whatsoever with her phone?
No, sir.
Text message?
No, sir.
Snapchat message?
No, sir.
Instagram?
Nothing.
Phone call?
No, sir. Nothing.
No contact whatsoever since that day?
No contact whatsoever.
Thank you. Your Honor, thank you. No further questions.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
How you doing?
All right, how about you?
I'm doing well.
All right, thank you so much for being here. Just have a few follow-up questions for you. So if we could start with the day that IS went missing. You stated that she'd never done anything like that before, correct?
Correct.
Is it to your understanding that she'd never missed the bus, not taken the bus home?
Yes, that's my understanding.
Okay. As far as how you found out, I know that you were called and you were one of the first people to go up to the school, correct?
Yes.
And you called police as well.
It wasn't me.
You weren't the one to call police.
I wasn't the one to call the police. I actually was the one to sign the police report.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
even though you didn't call, you did interact with police.
Yes, I did. I did interact with the police, yes.
Do you know who called police?
My sister, Margie.
All right, thank you so much. And were you guys together at that time when she called?
When she called, no, we weren't together.
You just were at the scene when police arrived.
Yes.
And you gave the initial statement to police about the details about IS being missing.
Yes.
Right. And you said that you searched and talked to people around the school itself.
Yes.
And no one said that they had seen her or anything like that.
Correct.
Did you call friends or other people who she may have been around that day?
No.
Other than just doing basically a canvas around the school, did you talk to anybody else that day about where she might be?
I talked to a lot of kids, yes. It was a lot.
And no kids specifically that you knew her to be friends with, just kids who were around?
Yes.
And so you couldn't tell us, I talked to Joe or whoever it is?
Mostly, I didn't know. I was talking to anybody who would listen to me.
Understood.
Sorry.
And no, that's fair. No, that's absolutely fair. As far as your relationship with Johnathan Quiles, you
Yes.
said that back in 2017, maybe early 2018, he broke his femur.
It was 2017.
2017.
Yeah.
And you said that you guys kind of had a falling out, stopped hanging out at that point.
Yes.
Okay. You didn't like him.
No, I did like him. We used to party all the time. I did like him, and like I said, until things changed. We used to have fun. We used to be at his house playing bongos. We had time. We was there. He had me on that crazy tire swing that fell and broke his femur, which I was scared to get on. And we did bonfires. So things change. But at first, yes, I did. So I wouldn't say that I didn't like him at first.
Okay. Well, yeah, not at first. I understand that, but at some point when you guys had a falling out after that, you didn't mess with him at all after that.
Only when we did like family functions, just to go over there. No.
Outside of those family functions, which I'm assuming would just be like holidays type of thing, is that fair?
Holidays, just getting together for a barbecue. Yeah, outside of that, family gatherings, no.
How often would you say you guys would do those? Maybe once a month or less?
I don't really want to say once a month.
That often, or you think it was more often than that?
I would say it wasn't that often. I'm not going to say more often. It wasn't more often than that.
It was not monthly, it was less than that.
I would say it was. It just depends on the month, but I'm not gonna say it was every month because it wasn't. So some months could be different. It's just depending on what we were doing.
Understood. After that fallout, you would agree you did not have any sort of relationship with him whatsoever?
Just to go and speak to him, no. Only thing that we had is that family group text message. So everybody was on. When I say everybody, I mean all of my sisters, and he was on it as well.
Okay.
Well, Jonathan was on that as well.
You believe he was on that group text?
No, I know he was on that group text.
Outside of, did you guys have another group text where it was just the sisters?
At their time, Naomi made sure that he was included on everything.
After the fallout between you all, and I know you said you were seeing each other maybe less than, if you took the average, less than once a month, did you guys ever have any sort of conversations during those occasional times you would see each other?
No, I just sat back and I watched. I sat back and watched, and I just monitored. I'm very blunt, and I just sat back and I watched.
Okay. So you didn't really have any interactions with him after he broke his femur. After that, you guys really didn't talk much, even when you saw each other at family functions. You didn't really interact. I'm sorry, let me finish the question just.
My apologies.
No, you don't apologize. It's not a problem. I just want to make sure the record's clear.
Yes.
Even at those family functions where you would occasionally see him, you didn't interact with him?
No. I did, it's rude not to say hello. I did say hello. That, just you go in there and you say hello. But outside of the holding conversation, no.
Thank you. I know you said that on direct examination, you didn't like the way he looked at her.
Yes.
And you described that as, hey, I know what a man looks at a woman like, right?
Yes.
Okay. Outside of that, I just didn't like the way he looked at her. Did you ever actually see anything inappropriate between IS and Johnathan Quiles?
Outside of his looks, no.
Okay. Did you ever see any behavior between the two of them that would indicate that there was any sort of sexual relationship going on?
The way he looked at her, my opinion, yes. Let me look at you. That's how he looked at her. Now I'm going to look at you. How you doing, sir? He didn't look at her like a how you doing, sir. He looked at her like a man look at a woman.
Okay. Outside of that, you never saw anything that would indicate any sort of sexual relationship between the two of them?
No.
Okay. And you were never confided in by IS or anybody else about there ever being any such sexual relationship between IS and Johnathan Quiles?
We had our own, I didn't speak to IS, no. But, you know, me and my sisters had our own separate, yes.
Okay. Outside of the accusations that you talked about that, you know, between your sisters and you, there was no other information that you ever received that there was a sexual relationship going on between IS and Johnathan Quiles, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You talked about the accusation itself. You said you were the one who made the accusation originally. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. And you said that you did that when you found out that she was pregnant.
Yes.
Is it true that you actually made a similar type of accusation when the Kamar Humphrey situation occurred?
I need you to be a little more specific.
Okay, let me go back. Do you know who Kamar Humphrey is?
I've never seen him before. I've heard of him, and I know that he used to stay across the street from my sister Kim. Have I ever seen him? Could I pick him out in the lineup? No.
Okay. Are you aware of a sexual battery that Kamar Humphrey committed against IS?
Yes.
Okay. And were you aware of that at the time it happened?
I went to the house, and I did speak to IS about that.
And did she tell you that that's what happened?
Yeah, we talked. Do you want to know what we talked about, or is that hearsay?
No, I don't need you to tell me specifically.
Okay, yeah.
As far as that time period when Kamar Humphrey sexually battered IS, at that point in time, were there accusations of a sexual relationship made between IS and Johnathan Quiles?
Before that time?
Around that time period, yes.
Around that time, I'm going to say between the sisters. And when I say we didn't speak on a text message, I've always, every time I see anything, I've always said something. But
okay. As far as those accusations that were from earlier on in 2018, did you ever speak to IS about that and ask her about those accusations?
For which one?
Did you ever ask IS to confirm or deny sexual relationship, any sort of sexual relationship with Johnathan Quiles?
She wouldn't tell us about anything. Only reason why I honestly feel like we found out is because she got caught with the Kumar. Yeah, but no, only other thing I tried to get out of her, we were trying to find out who the father of her child was, but she wouldn't say anything.
So I know that these accusations had been going on for some time back in early 2018, and then again when she got pregnant. At any point in time, did IS ever confirm a sexual relationship between herself and Johnathan Quiles?
No.
All right, let me ask you about where she would go, because that was stated multiple times. You named 3 places originally. You named 3 places. You named Kimberly Mobley's house, her own house.
Yes.
You named Johnathan and Naomi's house.
Yes.
And you said that she had stayed at her grandma's over the summer.
Yes.
Then later you said it's not just those 3 places, it's actually, you know, other family members too. 'Cause sometimes she stayed at Paula's house, correct?
We would go over there. Would she go to Paula's house? Yes.
Okay. So, and other family members' houses as well. She would go over to their homes as well.
It's normally when we had functions, but for the most part, she was either home, stay at my house, the night at my house. No, I don't remember her staying the night at my sister's house. The only place that she stayed for an extended period of time was either at her house or Naomi and Jonathan's house at that time.
Okay, or her grandmother in Georgia.
Or her grandma, but that was for the summertime.
Right, understood. As far as Kamar Humphrey, did you know that IS was going over to Kamar Humphrey's house?
At first, no, I didn't. I found out about him after she got caught.
After she got caught with him?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Outside of that, I wouldn't even know his name.
Okay. And so if she hadn't got caught, you wouldn't have even known that she was going over to Kamar Humphrey's house on a regular basis?
I don't know if she was going on a regular basis.
Okay. Or that she'd been over there?
If she didn't get caught, I wouldn't have known. No.
So is it fair to say that although those 3 places you mentioned, it's very possible that she could have been going other places as well that you weren't aware of?
No, Marsh, he stayed across the street. So she didn't have a car, so where would she go? She went to, you want me to stop?
You mean Kamar was close in proximity, so that was easy
Yes,
for her to
it
get
was
to?
just across the street. Outside of that, where would she go? Because if she did go somewhere, we would know, because her mama would say something.
All right. You agree, though, that you didn't know about that beforehand, so you wouldn't have been able to tell us that if she had not been caught?
About her going across the street?
Correct.
No, I wouldn't. No one would know.
And so, again, it's fair to say that if she were going other places on foot, you wouldn't be able to tell us if she was or wasn't.
Where's she going? I don't know where else she would go.
Right. One moment. Let me just ask a couple of follow-up questions that I didn't quite clear up. You talked about the accusations back when Kamar Humphrey, I'm sorry, do you need to get some water? I apologize. Let me give you a moment.
He's just giving me a refill. I'm ready.
Okay. If you want to take a sip, that's fine. Go right ahead. I don't want to stop you.
I just swallowed the last one.
Thank you. All right. So let me go back and ask just a couple of follow-up questions to make sure I'm clear here. Back when the accusations came out that there was some sort of sexual relationship between IS and Johnathan Quiles, around the time Kamar Humphrey's situation happened, did you all interrogate or talk to IS about those allegations?
About the allegations with IS with
And Johnathan Quiles?
I don't recall. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Did you interrogate or talk to IS again when you all found out that she was pregnant?
Yes.
Okay. At that point in time, did she ever confirm any sort of sexual relationship with Johnathan Quiles?
Why was she?
Did she ever confirm it?
No, I mean, why was she?
Did she deny it?
When she didn't deny it, we didn't ask her directly. We asked her who her child's father was. That what we were asking her, and she would not say anything.
So you don't have any memory of asking her specifically about that accusation of Johnathan Quiles being the father?
I'm sorry. It's been so long ago. I don't want to say I may have, but I will say I'm not 100% sure, and I don't want to. I'm not 100% sure because at that time emotions were high. She wouldn't tell us anything, and so she wouldn't tell us nothing. She wouldn't tell us.
Do you recall her ever telling anybody, or you knowing that someone named Jose was the father?
I don't know if I should mention how I found out about the name about Jose.
Well, I'm asking, did IS ever tell you that the father was Jose?
No.
Okay. Did she ever mention any other names, like Peter or a Brian or Brandon?
She did not mention. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
It's okay. I think she got it, but I'll say it again just to be clear. Did she ever mention any other names like Peter, Brian, or Brandon as the potential father?
She didn't mention any names, so no. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're totally fine. It happens all the time. It's no problem. All right. So as far as you know, she never mentioned any names, according to you specifically.
To me specifically, no.
Okay. One moment.
Ma'am, good to see you. Have a good rest of your day. Yes, ma'am, you can go.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. State, how long is your next witness? Is that your only witness? Okay, so without her, you don't have anybody else? Or okay, that's no problem. I think the jury's good to go for the day, given some looks on some faces. Okay, members of the jury, we're going to take a break for the rest of the day. We're going to pick back up at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Please be here at 8:45. If you don't come downtown very often, usually traffic on a Friday is less than the Monday through Thursday. But please be on time. I know we started later today. That was an unusual issue that I don't anticipate occurring tomorrow. Even though it's a Friday, I do anticipate a full day of testimony, so we can try to fit this in within 2 weeks. Please remember, and this is incredibly important, please remember, do not discuss this case among yourselves or each other. Do not tell your family or friends about it. Please stay away from the newspapers, the media. I'm not saying you can't watch TV and you can't watch local stations, but just know that during commercial breaks, when they advertise the news, you may see something. Please change the station, mute it, go to a different room. It's incredibly important that you stay away from those type of avenues. And you guys have been wonderful all week in that regard. Other than that, you can leave your notepads on your chairs. I'll work on the temperature for tomorrow if you guys are a little chilly here today. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening.